me in the first round. He didn't touch me in the second round, but he dropped in the second round twice. And the third time, he never got up. Afterwards, he came round to the bus and he said, "You never told me you could box." I went, "You never fucking asked. And don't ever call me Cassie Arse again." And I walked out. He became my best buddy.
Right.
He came down to the Octopus where I was working and said, would I train with him? I said, yeah, it'd be nice just to go up there. And well, one night I was just doing nothing. He's come up. He said, "Harry wants to see you." And he offered me a job in a booth. And I said, "No, thanks." My governor, Baz, he said, "If that was in a hall, I would have paid to see money." I went, "What?" He knew that I was going up to box. He's come to watch. He said, "I would have paid money to see that fight." He said, that was a good one. Cut a long story short again, the following year I went and worked on a booth as a boxer. There was a guy who done the wrestling on the booth called Johnny Monk. Nice guy, but an evil bastard. He really was. Guys who used to come up and challenge him, within 2 minutes of being in that ring, he would have busted their thumb or their little finger. And afterwards, because you have to sign a disclaimer then, in those days, you had to sign a disclaimer. Anyone come up to challenge you, they had to sign a disclaimer, because if they got hurt or seriously hurt, they had no comebacks. So they all signed their disclaimers. As soon as he can grab an arm or anything, he just grab hold of a thumb and go crack and bust it. They can't wrestle on with a broken thumb. And it was an evil side.
And how much of it was a setup then, and how much of it was taking on legit challengers?
You might have had, if you're doing say 3 or 4 shows on a night, there'll be 3 or 4 G's outside, right? One to get the people going every time. So the G gets in the ring, right, and he nearly beats hell out of the boxer, all right? So people who's been watching outside, as soon as it all empties out again, the guy, Harry Woods, would start on a mic again and say, like, anybody out there want to come up and challenge my boxer? Because they've seen this boxing league get beaten to shit, right? They would, yeah, I'll have a go. They don't go nowhere, you know?
Uh-huh.
They first, second round, they're put away. Even a wrestler, right? They end up with little broken fingers. Or all the guys could actually do the shoot business on the booth.
Yeah.
You know?
So there was boxers there was wrestlers there. And how did you become involved with the wrestling then?
Well, this naughty sounds so. Johnny Monks, he asked me one night if I would get in a ring after we closed. I said, why is that? He said, well, I want to show this guy some holds. And if I put them on him, he can't see how it's done. But if I put them on you, he can see how I'm doing it. I went, right. I said, but you hurt me, I'm going to kick you straight in the nuts because I know what you're like. And he goes, no, honestly, I won't. Okay, after we closed, I got in the ring. He said, get on all fours. So I got on all fours. He dropped down by the side of me. He said, I'm going to put you in a hold and turn you over. But you've got to stop me from turning you over. I said, okay. Right, so I'm down on all fours. He put this hold on me. And he just flipped and I went straight over my back. I went, nah, I'm not having that. That's too easy. No. So I got down again, spread my arms wider, spread my legs wider, pulled my neck in. And he said, you ready? And he's got this hold on me again. I went, yeah, I'm ready. He went, no, you're not. I said, yeah, I'm ready. And he goes, you're not. I went, I fucking am. I'm ready. Go for it. You're not ready. And as he said that, I relaxed. I said, yes, and as I relaxed, ping, on my back. And as I'm standing up, I said, how do you do that? He hooked my arm and took my legs away, which is a hype. And I fell straight onto my backside. And I said, listen, if you're going to throw me around, show me how to break my fall, because that hurt.
Uh-huh. And
every night after that, he was sick of me, because I was getting in the ring and said, show me this, show me that, show me that. In boxing, you've got a straight left hook, right cross, uppercut. That's it. In wrestling, as they say that Johnny Saint is a man of 1,000 holds, there are. There's that many holds, but there's also that many counter holds. So I was more interested in the wrestling bit. I was a gymnast when I was at school, flip-ups and neck springs and head springs, and the only thing I could never do was a cartwheel. I used to always fall on my arse.
So obviously you started learning the wrestling from then, which is obviously something you went into and had a fascinating and brilliant career with. What did you do when you started to learn to wrestle? Was that then something you thought, right, I fancy this is something I fancy doing?
Because I was still doing the boxing on the booth, but I was doing a little bit of the wrestling as well. And John was teaching me the shoot moves as well as the clever stuff, the technical stuff. I actually joined an amateur club in Stockwell, near Brixton. I got kicked out because we go on a mat and I shoved a submission holder on somebody and he screamed and, and Jack Ingle said, out those doors and don't come back. I went, oh dear, I've done something wrong. Because amateur is nothing like what I was being shown. There's no submissions in amateur. There's falls, but no submissions. And I was doing silly hooking in is fine, but like when you put pressure hold on a joint, which you're not supposed to do. But I started to get into it when a guy, wasn't just working on a booth. Johnny Monks got me into Lem Britton's training school, basically. But this particular Saturday, there was no booth work, and John came banging on my door and said, John, we need somebody over at Dulwich Barbs. I lived right opposite the side entrance to Dulwich Barbs. He said, we need somebody because somebody's broken their ankle and he can't make it. So I went, no, I don't know enough, John. He said, it's okay, you're on with me in a tag match, so you'll be all right. We'll look after you. I went, no, I ain't got... I just don't know. He goes, right, remember, okay, I boxed in front of a lot of people, but wrestling was entirely different. It's a tag match. You're standing on the side and you're looking around, and I was very, very nervous. And I was very shy, in actual fact, in that stance. Girl-wise, never. But for the audience, I was shy. I could never look at the audience as I'm walking out a dressing room. I had to look at the floor. Until I got into that ring, that's my domain. Anyway, I did that one, and I did a few more for him. And then Mal Stewart came to me one day and said, he's going over to Greece to work. Yeah, he said, but one of the lads have dropped out and got to find somebody else. I went, put me in. Like I was and he did. And I went over to the Greece for the very first time, 1969. And that, the start really was the start of my professional career, because I never looked back after that. I travelled the flaming world.
Absolutely. I've actually got a list here of some of the places you've been to. Greece, Germany, France, Belgium, Holland, Austria, Switzerland, Dubai, Bahrain, Kuwait, Doha, Sharjah, wherever that is. Okay. Hawaii, Japan, Korea, Nepal, India, Kenya, Zambia, Nigeria, Spain, Israel, Beirut, Sweden, and Norway.
Yep.
That's a hell of a list.
Yep. Norway was the very last one that I wrestled in.
My God, that is a list that I don't think any wrestler nowadays could claim to have travelled to. So going back to 1969, you're in Greece, you've come back from Greece, you're obviously starting to learn the job. Was getting into Dale Martin's the big thing? Yeah. I went to Dale Martin's because I lived in Streatham at the time, and I went to Dale Martin's and I saw Jack Dow and I said, any chance of a job? I'm going over to Greece to work, and any chance of work when I come back? He said, you write to me when you're over there. Which I did. I wrote a nice letter to him and said who I was working with and who was on the shows with me. One big name that actually arrived was George Kordianko. Yeah.
What a big, brilliant, strong and good bloody wrestler as well. And then another one came in from Australia, who was a big name in Australia, but he was a Greek, Spiros Arion.
Who's a former world champion in America, yeah.
That's right, yeah. It was good. But when I got back, I never heard from Jack Dow, and I thought I'd blown it, because I went up to the office, I tapped on the door, walked straight in, I said, no breaks, no one's hand to pick up a pen and write a bloody letter. And when I said it, I went, you shouldn't have said that, you silly ass. And he said, I got your letter, boy. He says, too busy to write back. He says, go next door. You'll see a guy called Tony. give him your name and address. He's already had my name and address, but he's probably put it in the bin when I walked out the door. So I went in to see this Tony. He went, oh, fresh blood, he says. That's nice. Like, nice boy he was. He said, I'm sure you're going to get plenty of work. I went, thanks. The following Saturday, I was sitting at home and I got a phone call. Mr. Kincaid, I said, yeah. And Jack Dow went, oh, yeah. He says, could you go to Salisbury tonight? I went, hang on, I'll just check what I'm doing. Like, I was doing nothing. I didn't seem too keen, if you know what I mean. So like, yep, fine. I said, yeah, okay, yeah, I can make that. Great, he says, get down here by such a time and introduce yourself and blah, 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 so, which I did. I arrived at Salisbury, I go in the side entrance, up the stairs, I find a dressing room, I tap on a door. And this foreign gentleman opened the door, he said, yes. And I went, dressing room? He says, yes. I went, he said, are you a wrestler? I went, yes. What weight are you? I said, well, I'm a middleweight. He looked at me up and down, he said, you're not a wrestler, and closed the door in my face. I went, oh shit, what do I do now? You know, because in those days you were nice and polite. You know, you tap the door and you wait until someone opens it and you walk in, you know. That chap happens to be T-Boy Zakash, big name in England in those days. Eventually opened the door gingerly and I walk in and all the eyes that come onto me. It's like a western, you know, when someone walks through the swing doors and everything goes quiet.
Uh-huh.
And all the eyes turn, your head's turning, the eyes are burning into you. Go, oh shit, I know all the faces there.
I was going to say, so at this point, you'd obviously... was you watching wrestling on TV and things?
Yes, of course, yes. On a Wednesday night, it used to be in black and white. And it was in black and white on a Saturday as well. But in those days, yeah, I've seen all the faces. I knew them, but they didn't know me. And there was no chairs. And I looked and went, oh shit. There was a table over in the corner, so I went, okay, fine. I went over, chucked my bag under the table and sat at the table. And I sort of nodded a few, and I got a nod back, like, you know, but no one's speaking to me.
Who were some of the people that were there?
Who was there? There was T-Boy's brother Peter, Zoltan Boschik, Mike Marino, Johnny Yearsley.
All well-known,
all
British wrestling.
All TV names.
Yeah.
All TV names. And I went, oh boy. Then the door opened, and in walked this little lightweight wrestler that I knew very well from working with Len Britton, Tony Scarlo.
Yep.
And he went, hello, John. He said, what are you doing here? I said, I'm prostituting. I mean, that's taking somebody else's money. Right, so... he said, who are you fighting? I went, I've no idea. So we're sitting there on a table talking, and door opens up, and in he walks with the heavyweight suitcase, and the wobbling of the head, and the bow swinging behind it, and he goes, hello, he says. Not to me, everybody, right? He just said, hello. He says, here, who's this CUNT I'm fighting tonight then? And I looked around, and no one said, me, Jack. Right, you know, so I went, oh. I waved my hand in the air and I went, hello. And he walked over and says, hello, boy. Palo's the name. Wrestling's the game. If you're fit, you might go the distance. If you're not, you're going away in 2 or 3. I went, thank you very much. He turned around and walked out. I went, that's nice. He was just trying to scare the shit out of me. And he did. You know. Now, I've seen Jackie Palo on TV. You mean? To me, all he did most of the time was bunny to the punters.
Yeah.
Talk to the punters, crack like that, ha, this, that, and wobbling his head around all over the place. But that old sod could actually wrestle. Tony Scarlo said, what do you want to do, John? When you first get in the ring with him, go in really tight, right? Hard and tight. Watch his face. Do that twice. And third time, just go in nice and easy. Which I did. I went in right solid first. Wow, his eyes nearly blew out of his face. Jesus Christ! Like, you know, he pushed me off. And he sort of walked around a bit, wobbling his head. Jesus. And he's come back. We were linked up again. And again, his eyes, Jesus. Like, third time I went, how's that? He went, you darling. Right. We came out of the ring afterwards, he came into the dressing room and said, you, son, have never been to Dale Martin's gym. I went, pardon? He said, have you ever been down Dale Martin's gym training? I went, no. I knew it. He said, where did you learn to wrestle? I went, on the fairground. He went, you're due for me. Every night of the week, you're due for me. I went, thank you very much. He said, the unfortunate bit is,